Imagine a psychological experiment that shook the world, demonstrating the dark side of human nature. Welcome to the story of Stanford Prison Experiment. This watershed moment in psychology was designed to delve into the depths of human behavior within a simulated prison environment. The experiment sought to unravel how power dynamics and role-playing warp individual identity and morality. This experiment is not just a chapter in a psychology textbook, it's a mirror reflecting our potential for cruelty under certain circumstances. If you're intrigued by the dark side of human nature, smash that like button and subscribe. Help us outsmart the YouTube algorithm. But what led to this experiment? Let's travel back in time to the early 1970s. The Vietnam War was raging, and civil rights movements were shaking the nation. Amidst this tumultuous landscape, psychologist Philip Zimbardo felt compelled to understand the psychological underpinnings of power abuse in prisons. Inspired by the inhumanity witnessed in real-world prison conditions, he conceived the Stanford Prison Experiment. Zimbardo set out to explore the power dynamics in prisons but ended up unearthing something much more profound and disturbing. The methodology of this experiment was seemingly straightforward, but its execution proved to be far from simple. Philip Zimbardo and his team designed a simulated prison environment in the basement of Stanford University's psychology building. They meticulously crafted everything from cells to solitary confinement quarters, aiming to replicate an actual penitentiary as closely as possible. To populate this makeshift prison, an advertisement was placed seeking participants for a 2-week study. Out of the 70 respondents, 24 were chosen, all healthy and psychologically stable males. These men were randomly assigned roles of either prisoners or guards, creating an artificial hierarchy. The guards were instructed to maintain order without physical violence, while the prisoners were arrested at their homes, blindfolded, and brought to the prison to heighten the simulation's realism. The stage was set for a study that was to reveal disturbing truths about human nature, but as we'll see, this prison would soon become all too real for those involved. The roles assigned to participants were crucial in shaping the course of the experiment. 2 distinct roles were handed out: guards and prisoners. The guards were given authority. The prisoners were stripped of their freedom. But it wasn't just a game of pretend. As the days passed, these roles began to seep into their psyche, molding their behavior. Guards became more authoritative, prisoners more submissive. These roles, initially seen as mere labels, soon began to define the participants' behavior and identities. What happened next was unexpected and frightening. The individuals, mere students, began to internalize their roles as guards and prisoners. The guards exhibited authoritarian traits, becoming increasingly cruel and sadistic. The prisoners, on the other hand, displayed signs of extreme stress and helplessness. The boundaries of the experiment blurred, and a simulated prison turned into a psychological battlefield. It seemed as though the environment had unlocked a darker side of human nature, a side that thrives on power and submission. This experiment was revealing a chilling truth about human nature. The experiment, intended to last 2 weeks, was terminated after just 6 days. The psychological toll on the participants was far greater than anticipated. The guards' brutal behavior and the prisoners' emotional breakdowns led Philip Zimbardo to conclude that the experiment had to end prematurely. The decision wasn't easy, but it was necessary. This early termination underscored the power of the situation and the malleability of human nature. The line between reality and simulation had been crossed, raising serious ethical concerns. The Stanford Prison Experiment is as notorious for its ethical violations as it is for its findings. The study's design and execution raise several ethical red flags. Critics point to the lack of informed consent, as participants were not fully aware of the potential severity of their experiences. Further, the psychological harm inflicted on participants surpassed acceptable limits, blurring the line between research and reality. This experiment brought to light the delicate balance between scientific discovery and ethical responsibility. Despite its controversies, the Stanford Prison Experiment left an indelible mark on psychology. Its shocking revelations about human behavior under the influence of power and authority spurred a re-evaluation of ethical standards. This led to a major overhaul of the ethical guidelines for conducting psychological research. The experiment served as a stark reminder of the potential harm that can be inflicted when research boundaries are blurred. Now, participant welfare stands at the forefront of any psychological study. The experiment's legacy can be seen in today's ethical guidelines for psychological research. Over the years, the Stanford Prison Experiment has been both replicated and criticized. Some subsequent studies mirrored its results, reinforcing its chilling implications. Yet others have called into question its methodology and the authenticity of the participants' reactions. Critics argue that the participants may have been playing to expectations rather than genuinely embodying their roles. Furthermore, debates have arisen over whether the experiment's setup inherently skewed results towards negative outcomes. While the experiment's validity has been questioned, its impact on psychology is undeniable. The Stanford Prison Experiment compels us to reflect on our understanding of human nature. The experiment's findings shed light on how easily people can slip into roles that demand a certain behavior, even when it goes against their inherent moral compass. It exposes the dark side of human nature, the potential to exercise power and authority in abusive ways. This experiment underscores the importance of creating checks and balances in situations of power disparity. The experiment reminds us of the potential for cruelty that can emerge in certain situations. Philip Zimbardo, the man behind the experiment, has his own reflections on the study. Over time, Zimbardo has acknowledged the ethical gray areas his experiment inhabited. He's admitted to getting caught up in the experiment's dynamics, blurring the line between observer and participant. He's also expressed regret for the distress caused to participants, sparking conversations about the importance of safeguarding participant well-being in psychological studies. Zimbardo's reflections serve as a reminder of the complex ethical considerations involved in psychological research. In understanding the Stanford Prison Experiment, we uncover a complex and controversial chapter in psychology's history. This exploration has revealed the profound impact of simulated environments' human behavior, the ethical quandaries faced in psychological research, and the long-lasting influence of this experiment on the field. But the journey doesn't end here. We encourage you to continue exploring the captivating history of psychology and how it has shaped our understanding of human behavior. But most importantly, it has underlined the power dynamics and the potential for abusive behavior in certain situations. As we delve into the human psyche, we must always remember the ethical responsibilities that come with it. We would extend our gratitude to you for investing your time and showing interest in this complex and intriguing field. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery.